All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 25th edition of Fantasia. My name is Celia Pouzet. I'm one of the curator. I'm also the director of the documentaries from the Edge section. So welcome to this live Q&A of Alien on Stage. So thank you so much for being with us and supporting us. It's the second year that we're doing this virtually, but we're hanging on, and I think we're delivered a pretty decent lineup. We're really excited. We have over 120 features and countless shorts for this year. And yeah, if you're here with us, it's probably because you watched Alien on Stage. And just a few words about the festival before we start. So if you enjoyed Alien on Stage, it's available on demand throughout the festival, so until the 25th, so you can talk about it to your friends and recommend it. And if you're looking for, comedies, we have Fils de Plouk, or Mother Schmuckers, which is like a Belgian stepbrothers meets Tim and Eric kind of humor that is really, really cool. It's also on demand. Or we have the Puppets, really like gore and fun film called Frank and Zed that I really recommend. So it's also on demand. And if you want more documentaries, you can check out the docs from the Edge lineup. So tonight we have a scheduled screening of the North American premiere of Straight to VHS at 9:30 Montreal time. If you miss it, and that's the case of a lot of scheduled screenings, actually, if you miss the first screening, there's a repeat screening 2 days later, and it's like an on-demand 24-hour title. So just so you know. So yeah, and if you get your ticket to Straight to VHS, you get the Act of Violence in a Young Journalist movie for free, which is on demand, but only available with Straight to VHS. The Straight to VHS is a documentary about a really weird VHS. And this film, Act of Violence in a Young Journalist, is this like cult Uruguayan, very, very strange film. And so, yeah, Act of Violence is a Fantasia exclusive. You're only going to be able to see it with us. So, yeah, really, really recommend that. And yeah, you can have a look at Dear Hacker also, which is an on-demand title. And Sunday, we have the world premiere of You Can Kill Meme at 7:30, and it's a documentary about mimetic magic. So that's all for Fantasia, and now I'm going to introduce the Alien on Stage cast who are with me tonight. So yay, you can all reappear. So we have so many people. I'm so excited. I feel like, I've seen the film so many times and I feel like I'm meeting my idols. Like I'm just beyond excited. I'm fangirling. Really. So I'm going to introduce everyone very quickly. So we have Luke Hayward, who's the script writer. Hey, Luke.
Hello. Hi, nice to meet you.
And we have Dave Mitchell, who's the show director that you
Hello.
recognize. Hello, Dave. And then Lydia Hayward, who plays Ripley.
Hi.
Then we have John Elliott, who plays Parker.
I played Brett. I played Brett.
Oh, sorry, Brett. And Carolyn White, who plays Lambert.
Hello.
And then we have Pete Lowford, who's the prop maker.
Hiya.
Hi, Pete. And then Jackie Rowe, who plays Ash.
Hi.
And then we have the two director, producer, editor of the documentary, Danielle Kummer and Lucy Harvey.
Oh.
Hi. Okay, so I think it was so difficult to prepare this Q&A because I'm totally fangirling and I have so many questions and I'm just, I was so excited to finally hang out with you guys because I think that what I preferred, what I love the most about Alien on Stage is that while watching that, I was like, oh, I just want to hang out with those people. Like, I just want to be friends. So I'm really, really excited. But maybe we can start a little bit with the stage and stage play itself and then move to the documentary a little bit later. But so very quickly, maybe I want to start with Luke because he's the one that kind of like brought the the idea of Alien and who wrote the project. And I thought it was really fantastic that you were like, no more Robin Hood and just like I want to do Alien. So maybe in your own word, Luke, and everyone else, if you want to join in, how did this project start? And yeah.
Okay, so it started. Neil Mitchner, who had Blue Moose Productions, who was before Paranormal Dramatic started, he asked me to write a script for next year's Christmas show. He wanted me to do a pantomime, but I'm far from a fan of pantomime. It's really not my thing. So I said, how about we do something slightly different? So we shortlisted. I said, why don't we do like a movie adaptation? So we shortlisted a few films, and we narrowed it down to Alien because it was one of my favourites, my mum's favourite, and Dave as well. So we decided between ourselves sort of on Alien to start with, and then we pitched it to a few of the cast, and some of the cast hadn't seen it, and they read the script, they liked the thought of doing something different. So that was it really. Everyone was like, yeah, let's do it, let's give it a try. It's something unusual, something fun. So it kind of went from there. It was just, I just didn't want to do a pantomime, so maybe something a bit different, do horror.
It is different and it's such a brilliant idea. I mean, who would have thought? And like, so while you were writing this, if I, come from the future and I'm telling you like, Luke, you know what's going to happen next? Like, do you know that you're going to play in London, be selected in South by Southwest, etc.? I mean, do you have any idea at all of the journey that was ahead?
No, I mean, it was literally going to be a 1 or 2 show thing for charity in Wimborne. It was supposed to be it. My main concern when I was writing it is that it stayed true to the source material as much as it could. Very few things were redacted. That was my main concern, and that it wouldn't upset fans of the show because like Star Trek, Star Wars, Alien, but you don't want to upset the fan base. And the biggest way to upset the fan base is to sort of disrespect the source material. So that was my main thing about writing it, and it was for charity. It was going to be fun, but I wanted it to be fun and accurate. But it didn't really matter on the first show because no one came. It was a complete flop in Wimborne. It was like pensioners mainly, and people just didn't really care. So at the time, it couldn't have gone any worse. But where it's gone is insane. It's mad. I never thought it would ever. Nothing like this would ever happen. It's mad to me. It's good, but it's mad.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, so one of the things that I love the most, I mean, you mentioned that you were a fan of Aliens and Dave and Lydia as well. And it does speak to Alien fans. Like, obviously, that resonates with us. But I really love the fact that it also resonates with people who probably have never seen Alien and doesn't, or maybe heard of it or whatever. Like for me, when I was watching it, I was picturing myself with my dad, who doesn't really care about Alien, but I knew that he would that we would connect, with that. So I really, really enjoyed that. And I was wondering, so for the ones, like for everyone else in the cast, like, so what's your story with Alien? Had you watched it first? Like, did you already knew it, like Luke, or did you watch it for the first time, when you were pitched the project, and what was your reaction to that? So to everyone.
To me, I've seen Alien, so yeah, I was interested, and obviously I had the most words in the play. So I was quite happy with that. I thought I could handle the most important word right.
Right.
So yeah, it was a bit of a surprise after Robin Hood, but yeah, it was certainly don't regret staying on board. So that's all I can say. I could carry on, but I'll let somebody else speak instead.
Right.
Well, I watched it years and years back when it first came out, actually, and it was always one of my biggest favourite movies. And then I got Luke into it when he was quite young, and yes, it's just gone from there. It's just one of my absolute favourites. And to put it on stage,
So you started it.
I did a little bit, actually.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think I did. Yeah.
definitely.
What about the others? What about Pete? Have you seen Alien before?
I'd seen Alien when it first came out in the cinema, so I had a pretty good idea.
Gotcha. Was there anyone who had not seen it before and just like discovered then?
Yeah.
Yeah, me.
Yeah, I hadn't seen it.
No, not me.
So neither Jackie or Carolyn had seen it before.
No, they haven't.
No.
And Mike hasn't seen it either, had he?
No, getting
My
back.
cat, no.
So what went through your mind? Like you're watching Alien and you're thinking, oh, but what's going on?
Oh, yeah, it was good fun.
Yeah, we sat down together and watched it, and Carolyn was a bit sort of shocked at a couple of scenes, but overall, I think she liked it.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Jackie, what did you think?
Yeah, I love the film now. It definitely changed my taste, I have to say. I'm a horror fan, but I'd never considered it a horror, only a sci-fi. And I really wasn't that keen on sci-fi, but yeah, it's completely changed that. And I love the film now.
Yeah. It's definitely a one-off.
When you first watched it, Jackie and Carolyn, did you conceive of what it was going to be like on the stage?
No.
Never. No, I just went out. No.
We watched it all together, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, big blue behind the pub, wasn't it?
We watched it all together for the first time in like a bowling alley in one of the pubs. And while it was running, we were sitting talking about how we could do things on the stage and how it would happen. Obviously, it didn't all happen the way we were talking about it there and then, but nothing ever does. But Luke basically wrote the script to work on a 2-tab stage, which gave us 3 areas to work. So we had quite a lot of room for changes, and we had to swap some things around because some things wouldn't work in the area that was available next. So it was an ongoing project, even from the times when we started doing the rehearsals. Things, if you look at my script, there's so many changes written in the borders of the pages, and half the time you're sitting there thinking, no, I'm sure we said you're coming on from the right. No, last time we said I'm coming on from the left. No, you're going off from the left. No, you, and trying to work out who was doing what was a nightmare sometimes.
Yeah, and I was going to say actually one of the character, I mean the people that really touched me the most was really you, Dave. Actually, you have this like military background and you're the show director. You carry so much on your shoulder, and you have also the seriousness of it. You really want to things to work out. And at the same time, I must say, I cry every single time when that, standing ovation, comes in, and there's so much emotion. It's really, really beautiful. So yeah, what was it like for you this journey personally?
I just tried to stay a calming father, loving figure.
He's
What are you all laughing about?
Oh.
Yeah, well, if you've had lobotomies, then that's not my fault, is it? But I mean, it was big pressure all the time. There was lots going on in the background as well as the rehearsals and things like that. But yeah, we all had our own responsibilities. I don't think. Well, if one person didn't do what they were supposed to do, it wouldn't have worked. So it was a team effort. And yeah, there was times that you're sitting there thinking, why am I doing this? I must be mad. But then if we hadn't put that effort in the first place, and these two ladies hadn't decided that they were going to come down and have a look, none of this would have happened, so you've got to give them the credit goes to you as well, though, because without your invitation to go to London, this wouldn't have happened. We ended up putting the show on in London, where it was a huge success, and the emotions that came out then was absolutely extraordinary, because you finally realised that if you put a show on in the right place, you will get the audience that you deserve.
Yeah.
Whereas Wimborne, they're all dead there.
Or near it, anyway.
Well, they're working on it.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, there's exactly that. Like in the film, what's really fascinating is that it really plays as a kind of a fairy tale, both in front of the camera and also behind the camera, right? I mean, you have on one hand you have the bus drivers coming from in the middle of nowhere with no budget, not a lot of experience, and then brought into this massive, so surprising success. And then it gets a sort of meta when you have those two filmmakers just decide to grab a camera, just go for it, do their first feature. I mean, it's really fearless, and then themselves also are finding that this great success and arriving at South by Southwest and everything. So so in the end, like, to explain a little bit about like how the stars aligned for Lucy and Danielle, like you mentioned it briefly in the documentary, and then there's a text at the end that tells the story of how you discovered that. So, but I wanted to hear it from your own, with your own words.
Mm-hmm. I think the success comes from the fact that the source material is just so pure and has no, I don't know, something so magical about a community coming together that's different ages, generations, all with their different talents and pulling together and just taking on these roles that they've never tried doing before and giving it their all. And not letting their ego get in the way. It's like it's just a magical thing. And then the ingenuity of it and the combination of abilities. So it wasn't this kind of homogenized group of people that all have the same range of abilities. So this layer of amazingness, and I don't know, I saw it and then just was over the moon by it. Just joy, and that pure joy pushed to the next stage, and more people seeing it, and their joy spread to the next stage. And whoever we told about it, we just thought it was joyful and wanted to have, wanted to be involved. So it was a very easy route to success. Say no to this.
Oops.
Lucy gets frozen a little bit, but yeah, absolutely. And it's funny because like there's been comparison, and myself I've compared it a little bit to Waiting for Guffman by Christopher Guest, and there are those elements of amateur stage play, very DIY things, the documentary format and all of that. But the main difference and the most important difference is that Christopher Guest is really a satire, and the characters are very egotistical, very narcissistic. There's almost no redeeming qualities to them, and they're funny as hell, but they're very egotistical, and therefore, and I'm going to spoil it a little bit for those who haven't seen it, but like therefore they fail. they fell because, you know, there's nothing, you know, at the opposite with Alien on Stage. There's nothing of the compassion of the patients and of everything that and the joy and everything that resonates with Alien on Stage. So it was really touching to see. And so how did you really get into this project? How did you hear about the stage play the first time around?
It was Lucy's friend, our friend, our mutual friend, Andy Button, who spotted a poster on a supermarket notice board saying Alien on Stage, amateur production. And he then went home and looked at the website and looked at the blog that you guys were all making. And then he thought it was amazing and started following it and started watching you guys. There were little videos that you guys were posting. And then he told everybody. And one of those people was Lucy. But Lucy, do you want to tell the story of how you first went down?
Well, they only did 4 shows, and Andy's small group of friends that became obsessed with watching the blog. It was getting closer to the day when we could go to the show. And Andy was already going to be there for the last weekend visiting his girlfriend. And me and my friend Jo were incredibly hungover on a Saturday afternoon. And we left it right until the last minute looking at each other. And he said, if we don't go tonight, I'm never going to get to see it because I'm not available. And I was like, but this is mad. Like, why would we drive all the way to Dorset? Like, we looked at your blog again to remind ourselves of why we're so drawn. And we left it to the last minute and then ran to his car and drove at 100 miles an hour to get to your and sat at the back in an empty theatre waiting to see what would happen.
And then Lucy came back having seen it and said, this is amazing, and told all of us, including me and another 10 friends, and proceeded to hire a minibus to go back again the following weekend, which is when I saw it and a bunch of friends, and we drove. And we also left it really late, and I think Lucy miscalculated the time because we were in a big van, and that the top speed of the van was only 60 miles an hour, so it meant that we were even a bit later. And I think we were communicating with Dave, who very sweetly said, like, oh, we've got some people from London. He's like, don't worry, we'll hold the curtain. And they waited for us. Do you remember?
There was nobody else there.
Nobody else there.
Yeah, we felt quite special. We were like, oh, that's very sweet. So then, yeah, and then we saw it. And then, yeah, I just thought it was incredible. And we met everybody, and you guys are just so sweet and so fun. And yeah, and then it just sort of spiraled from there. I think, Lucy, you just really were sad that they hadn't got the recognition that they really deserved. And you hadn't had a big, raucous audience behind you at that moment. It had been a bit of a deflated, not quite what you needed. And I think that spurred you on, Lucy, to kind of look at other options.
I think it was just fluke in my lap. I mean, I don't like Facebook very much, but in this occasion, it was really, really useful. I just made one post, and then a friend of a friend said, oh, contact this person. He has a theatre. And it just happened to be the guy who owns the Leicester Square Theatre. And he said yes. On the date that they were available, like the stars were aligned. So.
And then it was at that point when all this had happened, and me and Lucy, who used to live together, we were sat at our kitchen table, and we were thinking, this should really make a good film. We should really film this. And yeah, so we decided to make a documentary about it. Not really knowing how we were going to do it, or how it was going to happen. We didn't have any equipment. We didn't have any money. We didn't have anything. But I think it's true. We did really take inspiration from you guys, and that the fact you just went ahead and did it. And yeah, so that's what we did.
And if you hadn't, we wouldn't be in existence now.
But if you hadn't either, we wouldn't be here either.
So we have a couple of questions from the chat. I'm gonna pick one, and so Henry asked, it would have been easy to turn this into a comedic piece or anticipate an audience laughter. I mean, it is very humorous, right? But like, what was your thinking at the time and your eventual decision to quote unquote play it straight?
So from the beginning, it was supposed to be completely serious. I'll be honest, like the whole thing was written, pitched to the cast, deadly serious. Not one single time was it said, this is supposed to be satire or fun or anything like that. The whole time it was supposed to be serious. It was kind of after a few rehearsals where it was apparent that was not going to be the case. And and there's only so much you can do from the sound box. So I've been asked quite a lot online and a few places, and other guys have as well. Was this deliberate? Was it tongue-in-cheek? Did they play on it a little bit? Not at all. From the beginning, all the way from the first rehearsal, all the way to the last showing in London, it was supposed to be deadly serious. The last show, there was a couple of people who thought, no, last show, I'll say a couple of words differently for a laugh. But apart from that, the whole time it was supposed to be deadly serious, which I think in a way annoyingly made it funnier. Which when we first did the London show and people were laughing, I was gutted. I was really not annoyed, but upset and a bit disappointed. People were the amount of work that had gone into it is as ridiculous as sometimes it looks, and as it comes across as a bit ridiculous. A lot of work had gone into it and a lot of effort. So when people laughed, it was a bit like Tommy Wiseau in the room. I'm not sure if you've seen the movie they made of Tommy Wiseau, but the disappointment when everyone's laughing in the show, that's exactly what it was like in the theatre. It was, painful. But then at the end of the show, when everyone was clapping and laughing and having a good time, it's like, okay, well, if people enjoyed it, that's the main thing. And the fact is, most of those people in that theatre, I'd say probably 99% of them have seen Alien, and would be Alien fans. They wouldn't just be people who thought, oh, let's go and see this. They're Alien fans, and they enjoyed it. And we didn't have one complaint, not a single person asked for the money back. Everyone said how much they liked it. So it was kind of bittersweet in a way that, we wanted to make a really dead serious Alien homage, a true stage replica. It didn't go that way, at all. But people enjoyed it in a different way. And I think in a strange way, it was almost an alternative tribute to the original film. That's how I see it now.
I think the fact
it was your ambition. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut anyone off.
Okay, go on.
I was going to say it's Luke's ambition and the ambition of getting things so accurate and the sound effects being right and everyone delivering things on time and the stage effects working so effectively that made it so enjoyable to watch, because it's a relief because you're nailing it. The relief is joy, laughter, because you're doing it well. It's like, oh my God, they're still managing it, even though they've got no budget and no one, most of the actors on stage haven't really watched Alien and have only acted in pantomimes, and they're still nailing it. It's incredible.
All my effects were serious.
Yeah, they were great.
Yeah, you put a lot of blood into that.
Yeah, especially the last one.
I think if we'd have tried to make it funny, it would have failed.
Yeah.
The fact that we were trying to do it seriously and we're not the best actors and staff in the world made it what it was, and therefore it was funny, but in a serious way. And we even had people on after the show the first time asking if we'd hammed it up. Were we professional actors and hammed it up?
Yeah, they did.
Well, no, we weren't, and we didn't.
No.
But actually what happened was that Penny actually said one word wrong in the start of the show, asking people basically to all the safety and that what they got to do, and she just said crap instead of correct.
Creation.
That basically.
So you're blaming Penny, John?
Absolutely.
Not here to defend herself, and you're blaming Penny. I don't know.
I think some of it's to do with the accents as well. When you've got British accents and sort of Dorset accents, so you haven't got the original American accents. And again, people were trying to be serious acting, but you forget your lines or something happens and you giggle. but we were all trying to do it really seriously, but it just didn't quite pan out like that. But I think some of the funniness was the accent. It was the accents to it.
Yeah, because you've got Sigourney Weaver, in her really hardline American accent, and then you've got John Hurt and Ian Holm, and the matching, but the way you acted is amazing. Like Captain Dallas's deadpan delivery is incredible, and Ash, you were so evil. It was amazing.
My guessing.
That
Right.
is the best thing.
Oh, yeah, what a scream.
Anyone's ever seen.
Blood curdling scream.
Amazing.
Yeah, I mean, I think what really works, in terms of comedy with the stage play is that you're comparing it. You had the same feeling, or you look as you were talking about The Room and Tommy Wiseau, but like I know a lot about The Room and Tommy Wiseau. I personally met him, and I wouldn't compare it at all. Like it's like way beyond. Like nope. Because again, like we're going back to like the heart of the people who are making it. Tommy Wiseau is a highly narcissistic and egotistical person who is completely failing at everything that he does with a very serious tone, and as opposed to you're completely triumphant with a very humble and a lot of heart, and that's what resonates. That's what we see. We don't care like if this is like a cardboard costume or whatever. We see beyond that, as opposed to someone like Tommy Wiseau, where there's nothing else that we can see more than his failure at everything. That's the absolute opposite feeling that I have with Alien on stage. So
I think it was not the whole Tommy Wiseau story. It was literally the bit at the end when he's in the cinema and everyone's laughing and he's upset by that. But then it turns around and it becomes like the people enjoyed it for the opposite reason. I think it's more that I mean than the whole story of Tommy Wiseau. I know what you mean though about Tommy, but yeah.
Yeah, and but like in the end, people are enjoying. Like I'm a fan of The Room for many different reasons, but I truly I'm never mocking Tommy Wiseau. Like I enjoy it for many different reasons. Like I would say, like if you guys want to have a look at that, I would compare it a lot more to the cinema of Wakaliwood, which is cinema from Uganda, and it's those people who are making films, and basically the main director of those films, he had never been himself to a movie theater ever, and he's never been to film school or anything. He's just making films from scratch, just based on some VHS that he's seen, and he's trying to recreate all of it. And like when you're watching a Wakaliwood movie, which is like seriously, one of their films is $60 budget or something like that for an entire feature film, and you just cry of like how much heart it has, and you just see beyond everything. It's just like it resonates so much. And he's very serious when he's making those movies, but yeah, I highly recommend it if you want to have a look at that. So second question from the audience, maybe in the chat, to the documentarians. So we already talked a little bit about that. So when and how did you discover this play? And thank you for not portraying the cast members as freaks, which unfortunately can be the case when documenting amateur activities. I mean, that's all that we were talking about. Instead, you treated everyone very, very lovingly. I mean, I guess you were infected by this compassion and this heart, and that's what shows in the documentary, right?
Yeah. It was
it was easy to film them because they were just having such a great time, and being themselves and being relaxed. You know, we just enjoyed hanging out with them, going to the pub and just, you know, they were very, very welcoming to us. And I think, you know, we were really, really we were hyper aware of not trying to portray them as, nothing bad. We wanted to really show the true people that you guys are, and you're all just really fun, lovely people. And that's what people really connect with in the film. And that's what we've been hearing from everybody. Just really love seeing you and seeing you guys hang out and just doing this quite amazing thing together. And I think, people really connect to that.
Yeah, and I think it's really important. Sorry, just to say about the love thing is, I think people come to expect to see problems in films and documentaries and fly on the wall stuff. They think the tension somehow makes it better, but you know, if you're filming a group of people who are a shining example of how to get things done because you're patient and tolerant, and you show respect to each other, and that's why it's going to work, then you need to show that to the world and focus on the good and uphold the good and not be that people somehow lacking because there's no drama. It actually resonates so powerfully with the audience that they feel so good after watching it.
Absolutely. It was very moving. Like for me, like I watched so many films and I watched this film like 5 times. I don't have the time to watch films several times, but this one, it was just so infectious. I was like, thank you, and especially when, and again, somehow the stars aligned really well when, people need that film, we need, this joy, this sense of community, this sense of, togetherness and all of that. So it's an incredible gift, and when I'm talking to other people recommended Alien on Stage, I'm like, no, you don't want to watch it, you need that.
That's so beautiful. Yeah, it's a gift. I always said to Danielle from the start, this is a gift. Like, this is the easiest film in the world to make. This is a gift. We just got to get it done and put it in the world, and it's going to have a life of its own. And lo and behold, it's true.
Sorry.
Good job it worked on stage then.
Yeah, good job your props worked, Pete. Otherwise, it'd be a completely different film.
Sometimes they didn't.
I hope you've kept some of them, Pete, because we might be doing it again next year.
Remakes in Canada.
You hear it here first, the Fantasia audience.
That was my next question, actually. Like, what's going on next for you guys? But I would certainly make the trip to London to see you guys perform, and also like so if you really have that project to make Alien on Stage again, but also very briefly, if you had to maybe adapt another film, which one would it be?
There's a few. One of my dream ones to always do, but it'd have to be serious. I'd love to do on stage is Solaris. That's one I'd really like to do. I'd love to adapt Solaris. I love that film with a passion. But I think that'd have to, if that went wrong, I don't think it could even be funny, because it just doesn't have enough of the elements to be funny that Alien has. It has to be serious. So that's one I'd like to do. Another one I'd like to do, and hopefully not get sued, is The Hateful Eight, the Tarantino movie. So that'd be another one I'd like to do as well. There's a few, I'll be honest. There's a few on the list that I'd love to do. I know Jackie was also writing a script for Nightmare on Elm Street as well.
Oh, I'm struggling with tabs. I don't know how you do it, Luke. I need more tabs.
You just need during the production anyway, during the rehearsals, they all change. Yeah, my mum wants to do Aliens, but
that's my
favorite. In the cardboard little machine robot things.
Yeah, I think we'd need get away from you. It's 5-figure budget for that.
I'd love to do that.
I think what Lily really wants to do, though, is the full Monty.
Well, yeah, yes.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's my project. but it's been done before. It's not quite the same.
No.
I like to do aliens.
Oh no, we've got to be original.
No, I like to do aliens.
And how about Lucy and Danielle?
My only desire, my only wish is to see them recreate Jaws. It has all the trappings of the reason Alien was successful. It's really get you and kill you off one by one, which is perfect for the stage. It's impossible to put on the stage, like out of space is impossible. It's the ocean. It's a very difficult thing to achieve, and I think it could work.
Lucy, no with the shark.
Gonna need a bigger boat.
You could make a bigger shark, a bigger boat, and a bigger shark.
I need a bigger apartment.
Yeah. We were thinking also Event Horizon as well was another one that's quite good. That's
because they all die one at a time as well.
Yeah, but that's very people orientated, isn't it? Yeah, it's a bit like Alien.
Yeah, we need more people orientation than action, because we've got such great actors that they draw out the personality of the characters that they're playing. So, that's what we're going for. Character-based films that we can adapt to the stage.
Really dense script.
Thank you.
You'll get nominated for Best Actress, Jackie, don't worry. Oh no, you'd have to be actor, won't you? You played Ash.
She's dying.
Oh, I just can't. That's brilliant. Oh.
And how about Alien on Stage, the documentary on stage?
Why not? Yeah, a play in a film in a play, and then we film it.
We've already been offered the right. Somebody wants the rights for the fictional remake.
Seriously,
so it's going to be a film.
That would be amazing.
Well, we've had 2 offers, haven't we? They're on the table. We haven't followed them up yet.
Well, we think there might be a few more coming after it's been round the world like it has done.
Mm.
There might be a few other companies interested in making a film about it. So that's not the reason we held off. The main reason we held off was for COVID to start with. We couldn't all get together easily and make decisions about what was going to be best for the group and things like that. Plus, we wanted to give the documentary a chance to fly before anybody started messing around with making films. Mainly because there could have been copyright issues and stuff, and that would have messed everything up. So, documentary was made first. Well, the stage show was done first, but the documentary was made next, and therefore let the documentary fly and see what happens.
Absolutely. And if there was an adaptation, who would play you? So Lydia, you would be played by Sigourney Weaver. And
we think there'd have to be English actors and actresses.
I think for David, Tom Hardy.
Tom Hardy. And will you play yourself, Lydia?
But Idris Elba.
How old am I?
Well,
we'll go John Boyega.
All right, there you go then. John Boyega.
He's American. He's to put his tissue though, isn't he?
Oh, yeah. Thanks.
So who's going to play Pete though? Because he's out there in the middle of the show. They've got to be able to hold their own.
Nick Frost.
Sorry?
Nick Frost. He loves his machineries and his things. The guy from Hot Fuzz. And
yeah,
that's a good job. What do you think, Pete?
I want Johnny Vegas.
Johnny Vegas.
Johnny Vegas is playing.
Brilliant.
Okay.
Oh.
Didn't hear that, Pete.
He likes mechanics as well.
Oh, does he?
He makes ceramics, doesn't he? He does pottery.
Yeah, he's been doing caravans lately.
Oh, okay.
Buses.
Making caravans out of buses.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, any closing words for that? I mean, I'm so sad. I wish we were all together, but hopefully we will meet in some other festivals and in person. I'm really hoping for that. But yeah, if you have any closing thoughts.
Yeah, just to thank the Fantasia audience for all the love that you've been sending us on Twitter and the amazing reviews we're getting. It's really uplifting to receive them. And just to like subscribe to our website, because you never know what's going to happen next. You don't want to miss out on future developments.
Yeah, and thank you for having us, Fantasia, and for Celia. Thank you for plucking us and being a big fangirl and, you know, being behind us and being so supportive. It's been amazing. Thank you so much. And yeah, it's
Thank
really
you.
wonderful to be at this festival. Fantasia, thank you.
And for giving us a chance to be on here now.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, absolutely.
thanks very much.
Yeah, thank you.
Absolutely my pleasure. Thank you so much, guys, for all the joy and everything. Couldn't thank you enough. And yeah, hopefully see you around. And thank you to all the audience who have been watching this. And it's going to be available on YouTube. So like we're recording this. So if you want to share that, you know, share with Alien on Stage love. And thank you so much, everyone. And yeah, see you around.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you. Thanks. Bye.